The women's pole vault final at the IAAF World Championships London 2025 began under an atmosphere charged with anticipation. The Olympic Stadium, steeped in history, welcomed athletes and fans who knew they were about to witness a contest where grace met raw power. Pole vaulting is unlike any other event, a balance of speed, technique, and courage. Every jump tells a story, every attempt carries the possibility of triumph or heartbreak. On this night, the world's best vaulters gathered, each carrying the weight of years of preparation and the hopes of nations. The event promised more than medals. It promised drama, resilience, and perhaps records that would stand for generations. The athletes knew the stakes. London's crowd, passionate and knowledgeable, filled the air with energy, aware that each clearing of the bar brought them closer to history. From the very first vault, it was evident that this would not be an ordinary final. It would be a battle that showcased not only technical mastery, but also the mental strength required to conquer gravity itself. The final gathered a remarkable field, each vaulter representing both individual skill and national pride. The defending world champion from the United States arrived with the composure of experience, seeking to extend her dominance. Europe's challengers included Poland's consistent medalist and a French contender known for elegance and precision. From Asia, Bai, a Chinese athlete carried the expectations of a nation investing deeply in athletics. Australia's representative brought flair, determined to prove her breakthrough season was no accident. Britain's own vaulter, cheered loudly by the home crowd, symbolized resilience, having overcome injury to reach this stage. Each competitor had earned her place through qualifying rounds filled with tension and risk. Now, in the final, margins would shrink. In pole vaulting, heights are unforgiving. Even the smallest technical lapse can spell elimination. Coaches stood quietly at the sidelines, offering signals of reassurance, but the battle would be fought alone in the runway and over the bar. With competitors assembled, the atmosphere sharpened. The contest was ready to unfold with precision, ambition, and the pursuit of history. The competition began at lower heights designed to settle nerves and establish rhythm. For seasoned vaulters, these early clearances were routine, yet for others, they served as essential confidence builders. Athletes sprinted down the runway, poles flexing under pressure before soaring above the bar with apparent ease. The defending champion cleared effortlessly, her movements smooth and mechanical, setting the tone for her rivals. Poland's contender matched her, showing calm execution. The home athlete from Britain, greeted by thunderous applause, delivered her clearance with visible relief, affirming her readiness. A few competitors faltered, struggling with approach or timing, their nerves exposed in the most public way. Each failure drew gasps, each success renewed applause. In these early stages, the final revealed its dual nature: routine for some, anxiety for others. The field began to narrow, with weaker contenders unable to maintain rhythm. By the conclusion of the opening round, the strongest athletes had separated themselves, while others faced the harsh reality that one failed attempt too many would end their championship hopes. As the bar climbed higher, the intensity deepened. The competition shifted from preliminary clearance to genuine tests of strength, speed, and technical mastery. Athletes adjusted grips, refined strides, and tested their poles against growing demands. The United States and Poland remained steady, their clearances decisive, showcasing the discipline of years at the top levels. France's vaulter began to shine, her technique graceful yet powerful, clearing heights with precision that drew admiration from spectators, Britons. Contender responded to the rising bar with grit, every clearance lifting the stadium into louder celebration. Yet as heights increased, mistakes became inevitable. A slip in timing, a misjudged takeoff, or a poorly executed push-off left some athletes struggling. For those on the edge, elimination loomed, their championship dreams slipping away. Each miss brought added pressure, as pole vaulters are allowed only limited attempts. By this stage, the competition revealed its true cruelty. Talent alone was not enough. Mental focus and composure under extreme pressure became the decisive factors separating contenders from champions. With the bar at world-class heights, the atmosphere grew tense. Every attempt became a test not only of ability, but of nerve. The American champion continued to vault with authority, her clearances crisp and commanding. Poland's vaulter mirrored her consistency, matching stride for stride. France's contender elevated her performance, drawing gasps with her fluid style and fierce determination. The Chinese athlete, cheered by international supporters, surprised many by staying within reach, her progress signaling Asia's growing strength in technical events. Britain's home athlete, though fighting through visible strain, clung to the competition with remarkable courage, feeding off the energy of the crowd. Misses grew more frequent across the field, each failed attempt amplifying the drama. Athletes paced nervously, recalibrating their approaches with every chance. Coaches gestured urgently, but only athletes could deliver. By now, the field had thinned, leaving only the strongest in contention. With medals in sight, the event shifted from collective spectacle to an intimate battle of wills, where resilience mattered as much as raw athleticism. The middle stage of the final became a crucible of elimination. Athletes who had shown promise earlier now faltered under mounting pressure. One false step on the runway or one poorly angled pole ended campaigns in heartbreaking fashion. Tears and frustration mingled with applause as competitors acknowledged the thin margins that separate success from failure. Britain's athlete, roared on by the stadium, survived near elimination with a clutch clearance that sent the crowd into raptures. The Chinese vaulter, despite valiant effort, exited after consecutive misses, yet her performance was hailed as groundbreaking for her nation. Poland's star remained flawless, her progression steady and clinical. The American continued to look untouchable, her rhythm unbroken, eyes fixed on higher heights. France's representative, though missing once, rebounded with steel, proving she would not yield easily. With every elimination, the stakes heightened. The crowd now focused on the dwindling group of medal contenders. The drama had narrowed, and the event entered its decisive phase, where only champions would withstand the immense physical and mental demands. By the time the bar reached its defining heights, the final had distilled into a battle between four athletes: the American, the Pole, the Frenchwoman, and the Briton. Each had demonstrated resilience, skill, and the capacity to perform under extraordinary pressure. The American remained dominant, clearing without visible strain. Poland's vaulter matched her, her technique steady as ever. France's competitor, though tested by earlier misses, produced a stunning clearance that reignited her campaign. Britain's athlete, carrying the hopes of thousands, summoned extraordinary strength to stay in contention, her face etched with determination. The margin for error vanished entirely. Each athlete was now performing at or near personal best, their bodies tested to the limit. The crowd, sensing history, grew louder with each attempt, creating an atmosphere of raw emotion. Every successful clearance drew